In this video, I want to talk about why being shy gave me such an advantage to have amazing social interactions with anybody. So, the first point I want to make in this video that's going to make everything a hell of a lot easier and just more smoother to do is going to be called the spotlight effect. What does that mean? So, the spotlight effect is there was a study done by a researcher that had a kid wear a bright orange embarrassing shirt of Barry Manilow, okay? And he told that kid to go into a huge college lecture and just come back after the class is done, okay? So the kid agreed. He wore that bright shirt of Barry Manilow and he went into that class, and it was an hour-long lecture, and he just wore the shirt. That's all he had to do. He came back, and after that lecture was over, the researcher asked that kid, how many people in the class, or what percentage of the class do you think noticed you wearing that embarrassing shirt? And he said 50%. And the researcher said, okay. So he had the kid leave. And then the researcher interviewed every fucking student in that class. And he asked them, did you notice that kid wearing that shirt? And the researcher found that less than 25% of the people in that fucking class noticed that kid wearing that shirt. And the ones that did notice it barely even gave it a few seconds of thought. What's the point of this study? Our brain is wired that 2 to 3 times of people are thinking about us, judging us, making fun of us, literally just thinking about us in general, than they actually are. So if you're ever in a social interaction with anybody and you're talking to someone and you think they're thinking about you, you think they're making fun of you, you think they're judging you, literally like 9 times out of 10 they're not doing this, because in that study it literally indicates that everyone is thinking about themselves. Like, I think about this. Whenever you're like in a gym, or if you're walking in public, or you're at a party, are you there judging every single person? Or are you more worried of what people are thinking of you? Well, if you are worried what people are thinking about you and like you're thinking about yourself, what do you think everyone else there is doing too? Everyone is always thinking about themselves. So the reason why I'm starting this video off with the spotlight effect is because if you're ever having a social interaction with somebody, and if you're just constantly just scared, insecure, like you thinking you have a big nose, or you thinking you look weird, or you thinking they think that you're weird, this will it'll give off that vibe to that person. But when you internalize that study and you realize whoever you talk to in life, literally anybody, they are always gonna be thinking about themselves. And even if they do notice your insecurity, they don't even give it a few seconds of thought. They don't care. No one cares. So that is the spotlight effect. And I want you to internalize this, because if you just truly just realize that everyone is thinking about themselves, everything else I'm going to talk about in this video is going to be so much fucking easier to do. And it's literally why I'm naturally a shy person, and I used to be really fucking insecure what people thought of me, but just realizing the more people I've talked to, the older I got, and me even finding this study, it just allowed me to let go a little bit and just kind of be myself, okay? So I want to start off that video with the spotlight effect. So let's get the second point, okay? So I'm naturally really quiet, I'm naturally really mellow, and I'm naturally really calm, okay? So when you're I would like to say I'm not as shy as I used to be anymore, but growing up, I was very fucking shy. I had trouble talking to people. It was very hard to maintain conversations with anybody. But you gotta realize this. I thought that you have to be super outgoing. You have to be super extroverted. You just have to be the super talkative, charismatic guy to be confident in social interactions, or to have amazing social interactions. And in my experience, I just realized that's not true at all. What allowed me to have amazing fucking interactions with people and just overall be who I am while being that naturally shy guy is when I'm talking to someone or I'm having a social interaction with someone, I'm doing 20% of the talking. 80% of the time, they're talking to me. They're telling me stories about stuff. They're telling me about their hobbies. They're telling me about what school they go to. They're just doing the talking, and I like that. I like listening more than I do talking. Okay, so again, I'm embracing who I truly am. I am naturally quiet. I am naturally kind of mellow, and I'm naturally calm. I'm not the type of person that really is really loud. I'm not the type of person that's super outgoing. I don't care to be, because that's not the true meaning of what makes someone confident. In my opinion, what makes someone truly become a confident person is being comfortable in their own skin and embracing who they fucking truly are. Okay? So, but why is this a good thing? Why is 80% of them talking actually a good thing? People love talking about themselves. When someone asks you a question, like if someone says, like let's say your passion is like playing the guitar, right? And someone asks you about the guitar and they're genuinely interested in how you got into it, what's your favorite song, like what type of guitar you have. Do you think like don't you want to talk about that? Like you're like, oh shit, like this person's actually curious about this. I want to talk about this. I want to tell them every song I know. I want to tell them my favorite song. How do you feel when like someone's actually interested in like learning about you? Well, take it the other way around. What if you're actually asking them interesting questions or curiosity questions and they're just talking and talking and talking and they're just talking about themselves? Human beings love that, okay? So if you're naturally just a shy guy, you can just be the person, just ask questions and just listen, like actively listen to them, be engaged with them. You don't have to be constantly talking and constantly thinking about what to say next. You could just literally relax, let them talk, let them just share their story, learn who they are as a person, and you can just sit back and just do 20% of the talking. And again, when you do this, in the other person's mind, which is my third point, this leads them to be curious about you. You're kind of like a mystery a bit. Like people are like, you're not talking as much, you're just calm, you're mellow, you're just present with them. People will literally love you for who you are. They will like you, and they will be thinking like, why is this like, they don't meet as many people like that, because majority of the people that are really shy don't bother like talking to people, because again, back to the first point, they're really fucking worried about what people think of them. But when you drop that and you do your best to just drop your insecurity and just like talk to people, and you do this right here because you just don't want to be that outgoing person, which is totally fine, you let them do 80% of the talking and you're the one that's just listening. That by itself is literally how you can have amazing social interactions with anyone. People love talking about themselves. And try this with anybody. Literally, your friend or a stranger, I don't care who it is, ask them like a curiosity-led question, something you're genuinely curious about, and let them just talk about it. And watch how that fucking interaction goes, right? They're literally gonna wanna be around you more because, like I said, people just love fucking talking about themselves. So, literally, I don't care how shy you are. I don't care how insecure you are. I don't care if you're really, really nervous to talk to people. There is not one human on earth that can't do this, that can't have social interactions with anyone. If I could fucking do it from a kid that literally couldn't make eye contact with you when talking to you, I believe you can do it too. I don't care what disability you have, literally anything. Just follow this rule. You don't have to be the one being so outgoing, being like loud, talking to every fucking person you see. You don't have to do any of that. Literally sit down and embrace who you are. Are you more quiet or are you more loud? Are you really like talkative or are you just really like laid back? Embrace who you are and then just try this out for yourself. Just let them talk and let them build curiosity around you. They're gonna want to be friends with you. People want to be around you more. This just in general is what I do. Even when I'm working or if I'm talking to people. I was at a bar the other night and I barely talked to anyone and they were talking to me because again, I just like listening. That's how I am. So, and people don't like say like, why is this dude not talking at all? That's not how that is. People just like being around that. They like talking to you when you do this because you're actually listening to them, you care about them, and you're genuinely fucking curious about that person. Okay, and a little side note too, a little like tip I'm gonna give you. Every single human is always thinking about themselves. We already know this, right? So generally what I found that people that are the most talkative, that always just talk about themselves and never care about the other person, they're not usually as likable as the person that's more like laid back and listening to what that person says and generally having that person talk, is what I found in my experience in life, okay? But let me recap everything in this video. The spotlight effect. No, your brain is wired that 2 to 3 times the people is thinking about you, judging you, making fun of you. It's bullshit. No one is thinking about you. Everyone is thinking about themselves. So drop all your insecurities during a conversation and just be yourself. Let your personality shine. Number 2, being quiet and calm is not a bad thing. Be who you are. Do 80%. Let them talk 80% of the time, and you can just listen 20%. Or you talk 20% of the time. You don't have to like be like super like perfect with this, but I'm just telling you that you should just listen more and let them talk more if you want to. And that should give you relief if you aren't the type of guy that's just so like outgoing, okay? You don't have to be the fucking person that talks all the time. You can just listen. And again, when people talk about themselves a lot, they tend to like you more. because they like talking about themselves. So, and then number 3, the other person's mind, they're gonna be more curious about you. They're gonna be more mystery. You're gonna have this like mystery vibe about you because you're not validating yourself towards anybody, right? They're just gonna be super curious about you as a person, and they're gonna want to spend more time with you, and they're generally probably just gonna be more, they want to become friends with you. Okay? So I hope this video made sense. If you have any questions about anything in this video, drop in the comments below. Subscribe for more content about just overall improving your social interactions, becoming more confident in social interactions, and just becoming like who you truly are and being comfortable in your own skin. So I hope this video made sense, and I'll see you in the next one.